Hey there, and welcome to Spanish 1002 for B Term Fall 2023. I just wanted to go over a few things briefly. Sometimes it's easier to watch a video than to read all of the information that's posted, especially if you're not used to an online format. It can get a little bit overwhelming. So I'm just going to point out the main highlights of the places that you need to know where to go to find things. Of course, we always have the syllabus, and if you are stuck, that's a good reference to go back to look at that. You should look over it at least once before you take your quiz so you're familiar somewhat with what's going on in the course. But again, I'm going to go over the main points here. You should be logging into your course at least every other day. I post a lot of announcements, usually on Monday, and those are really good reminders. If there are any corrections that I need to make or problems that I see a lot of students having, I will address them in announcements. So that is a really good place to go and look for reminders and make sure that you're not missing anything. Also, over here on the right side is the calendar. There are assignments posted to your calendar, and those will be over here at the right about what's upcoming to also help keep you on track. Now, there are several places that we can go to see what is on the calendar. So that is one of them. The other place is on your syllabus. And I would recommend printing this out, but I'll show you another place where you can find it to print it out more easily. So if you scroll all the way down to the course schedule, it's going to talk about the assignments and which ones are due on certain dates and so on. So I've changed the course a little bit for the full term class, and this seems to be working really well. The A-term class just finished. So we're going to do the same thing with you guys. There is practice work and quizzes that are due. And normally I have those due before each module test exam. However, I had so many students that were turning in things late or asking things to be reopened that I have now made all of the practice quizzes available the entire semester up through the final exam date, which is December 4th. Now, that doesn't mean that you should wait until December 3rd and 4th to start doing the assignments. You still would like to follow the schedule below. This is a suggested schedule about what you want to do in order to be prepared for like exam one for each exam. So it will tell you what I recommend that you do, these practice quizzes, before you get to this exam date on October 19th. However, if you were to miss some of those practice quizzes, you can still submit them for full credit all the way up through December 4th, which is the final exam. This is a major change in my courses. I think it's worked better. I saw students still keeping on track of things and submitting their assignments by December 4th. So we're going to do it again for B-term and see how y'all like it. This just allows for more flexibility, but you are going to be more responsible for keeping on top of things. Since I will not be checking and updating your grades on those quizzes throughout the semester, you will be responsible to look and see if you are on top of things. That final grade for those practice quizzes will not be entered until December 5th. So if you have not been doing them and you get a 0, your grade's going to drop. Those are also worth 70% of your grade, so there's absolutely 0 reason to not pass this class. If you are doing all of the homework with all of the attempts, and there are several attempts, if you aren't getting 100 on those, you should be contacting me for more practice opportunities on those quizzes. There's no reason to get below 100% on the practice quizzes, which means that you're already at 70% for the entire class. So even if you fail the exams, you can still pass the class by doing all of the practice quizzes, which are multiple attempts. Really no reason to be failing this course except that you just didn't want to do anything. All right, so this is the quiz, the calendar, and again, this is a recommended schedule except for the syllabus quiz and the introductory post, which is for the registrar's office, which is mandatory. And I have it set here on the 18th because inevitably people are going to turn it in late. So we are trying to get you to turn that in by the 18th. You may have seen it somewhere else that it's due by the 21st, but I will be hounding you if it is not submitted by the 18th. Okay, practice activities quizzes, again, this is a recommended date by when I think you should do these. This module exam is not a suggested date. That exam will be on October 19th only and cannot be made up later. So these exam dates are firm. These introduction posts and the syllabus quiz are firm. The final exam date is firm. Everything else is when you want to submit it, as long as it is due by December 4th. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Again, I recommend this is explained all here again if you want to go back and read it. That's the most important section of the syllabus. Besides that, the practice quizzes are worth 70%, which I already explained to you. Okay, some other tabs. The content tab is where you should be going to access all of your work, and it literally goes straight down. So we're starting here. Pretty simple, straightforward, gives you information, kind of what I'm going over right now. Extra credit opportunities are explained here. I do have Duolingo and the discussion board as extra credit. They are not required. And that did change the letter grade for several students in my A-term class. So some students were at a C and they went up to a B, some were at a B and went up to an A because they took advantage of doing those extra credit activities. Okay, and then you would just keep going. Module 1 is divided into 3 sections. You're going to have vocab, grammar, culture, and so on. So it's going to have those quizzes embedded in here, so you could literally just follow along, keep going straight down the assignments here. All right, another way, I talked about different ways to get to the calendar is under, so let's go back a step. Also under the start here is a document of the calendar. If you like to see it written out like this and you want to print this, that's easier for you to keep in your personal calendar, or you want to transfer it to your phone calendar, of course, you're welcome to do that. So that's just one more place where you can access it. And then finally, the third place where you can access the calendar. Can you tell that the calendar is important? The third place is to click on Study Aids Calendar. And those assignments are written on here, Duolingo and the discussion board, and you will see your exams on here. They are on Thursdays, almost all of them except for the last one. Exam 3 is due on this day, and so on. Again, remember that the exam dates are firm dates. All of the practice activities written on that schedule up until then are suggested dates by when to do those in preparation for the exam. All right, the other categories, tabs that you will want to look at, assessments. We can, under the content tab, I said that you could access the quizzes through there. So we have several places, just like the calendar that we can access in different places, we can also access the quizzes in different places. So same quizzes, 2 different places to access them. So if you're doing practice, quiz. Here's M1D1 vocab quiz. Well, maybe I already did the practice a different day and I just want to go straight to the quizzes and I don't want to go back through all the content. We can go to the assessments, quizzes tab, and you will find a list of the quizzes in order. So there's that same quiz, M1D1 vocab quiz. So just another way to access it. Again, you can do that from the content tab. You can do the assessments quiz tab. You'll also access your exams the exact same way. So they are embedded in the content straight down. It will tell you module exam 1. For example, if we scroll down, we'll see it at the end of module 1. We'll fix that. Exam 1 right here. Okay, and that will take you there. Or again, you can access it from the calendar, or you can access it from the assessments quiz tab. All right. Communication. I've had a lot of students ask how to email. I do not accept emails to my ASU account. That is for administrative emails. I do ask students to, because this is all online and I teach all online, that they email me within the course because I have 6 different courses, and that way I can keep track of which section you are in. So right here up at the top is where you would find emails and compose a message just like you do with other emails. Another way to do this, go to communications, which is what I like to do, class list. And under here is an option to send an email to me as well, or to other students in the class. All right, study aids, again, was the other way to find the calendar. And those are the main things that you will want to know how to navigate here in the course. The rest of it, my biggest tip for you is if you get stuck, is to contact me immediately. This is a 7.5-week course. There's not time to go back and learn something when you have fallen behind. You need to keep up on it. And I also want to point out that a regular semester would be 9 hours of Spanish homework a week. That's studying on your own and taking quizzes and practices and the exams, just studying. About 9 hours. So the rule of thumb is 3 hours for every credit hour. This is a 3-credit course, so that would be 9. You're taking this in a half semester course, so 9 times 2, that's 2 times as much work per week, because it's only in 7.5 weeks instead of 14 weeks, or 8 and 16 weeks. So that means that you should be expecting 15, 18, 20 hours of Spanish a week. If you cannot commit to doing 18 hours of Spanish a week, I highly recommend that you drop the course and you enroll for a full semester course. I have a lot of students that come in thinking that we're going to be doing half the amount of work. You're going to be doing the same amount of work as a full term and half of the time. Okay, so please be aware of that. We want to set you up for success and not for failure. So knowledge is power on that. Please be aware of that. You can register pretty soon for spring classes if you want to change and do the full semester. All right, that is it for now. Remember those main changes about the quizzes are 70% of your grade. It's a suggested schedule. Module exams, the syllabus quiz, and the attendance and the final exam are firm deadlines. Firm deadlines. Those are not negotiable. So everything else can be turned in. As long as it's turned in by December 4th, you can submit it whenever you want. All right, keep in touch with me. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you have any questions, and welcome to the class.